Hey, who's ready for a filler episode of Boku no Hero Academia?
Is this a filler episode or a fan service episode?
Both!
The correct answer is yes.
Yes! This isn't 100% filler as I thought it was last week, which kind of made me a little bit mad, but no.
Aw, so you don't get full points is what I'm hearing.
I'm getting some points because this does deal with a lead-in to the events of the next movie.
Ah, but you called it filler.
Well, in the sense that this is anime exclusive.
Interesting. I was kind of wondering when I looked at that, and I'm like, wait a minute, this stuff's happening in Europe? What is going on here? Like, they could totally do sidetrack heroes in any part of the world with this, as like a movie, and it would be great.
I believe the title of the next movie is World Mission
Interesting.
or World Hero Mission. And I am just not like upset they decided to shove it in here, but from what I understand, the movie isn't coming out for a month. So why have an episode promoting the movie now when I used to watch Kamen Rider on the regular? Episodes promoting the movie would come out the week before.
To be fair, Kamen Rider is also live action. They could film whenever they wanted to. In this case, it takes time to animate.
So didn't they have knowledge in advance? Like,
You would have to look and move up the movie schedule because this thing's gonna get released at whatever point it does on an anime season.
well,
Right? The scheduling for this for the show is not exactly movable. Or at least as free flowing as it is for like a movie, I would think.
hmm.
The movie would have to move up a month, and who knows what happened with COVID as far as production goes for either
Okay.
one of them. That could be the simple reason of why it's not lining up. Or it could just be, who the fuck cares? Though, with the way that they do these things, I'm going to go ahead and assume that it was either COVID related or just that the animations didn't pan out as quickly as they were hoping.
Okay. That's understandable. Because I am still not going to spoil the one villain that I know that comes at the end of the Endeavor arc that I half found out about, going like, hey, why is the next episode all these girls and Selkie? What's going on?
I was kind of wondering if it had anything to do with this, and like, just because it was like the drug thing that they kind of started off in the last season. Like, just getting more into that being a thing. It's interesting that it's not part of this, because I was half expecting it to be part of it.
Well, I guess it is and it isn't. Because it does work into the whole, hey, what is everybody else doing? But at the manga arc, I do not believe it goes to anybody else since it's called the Endeavor Agency arc.
I kind of figured we'd get a couple of panels from like the other ones in there, maybe. I think it would be like a full chapter or anything.
Well,
It's kind of surprising it's not, but hey.
we did have those single screens of like the people with the Sonic lookalike.
Yeah, but I was expecting more like, how do I want to put this? Like a couple of panels showing like what the villain or whatever they were dealing with was going on. You know, just give you an idea.
Ah.
Like help a little bit in that way with those character growths or what they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because clearly we're getting the three main heroes here. We're getting Todoroki, Bakugo, and Deku, and what they're working on as far as like their problems and how to like improve themselves to overcome those issues.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that you would, get a couple of panels with each of the groups, at least for Class A anyway, of what they were working on.
Maybe at the end of this arc?
The way it's going, I kind of doubt it, but it would be neat if they did.
So, I think we might potentially review the movie when it gets an English release.
I don't know. We haven't reviewed the other two.
Fair enough.
I mean, they're not canon or anything, unlike DBZ Broly was.
Fair enough.
As far as I'm aware, they're not canon anyway. Um, yeah, so maybe we should talk about the episode.
Yes! The episode proper and not just, hey, this episode is filler and fan service. Yes.
I mean, seeing them in swimsuits is nice,
Yes.
even though it's not the best girl.
Right. I can never win an argument against you and Jiro.
Kyoko's the best girl. Oh man. So yeah, it more or less starts off with Selkie going after what he believes, I guess, at this point is contraband from an exploded factory out. Did it give us a country that was in? That happened in?
No.
It gave us just a region or whatever. So I'm going to assume it was somewhere in Japan then. But it's them following a boat which has like some kind of it almost looks like a cargo trailer almost. And as they're following, they try to get to them and catch them, only to have some guy inject himself with what is called
Trigger.
I wanted to say Tinker, and I'm like, I know that's not right. That's the name of the dog from Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yes, injects himself with a new drug called Trigger, which is very much like that booster that we saw in season 4. And it causes him to just explode smoke everywhere and create a giant smoke screen, which they then are able to evade Selkie and find a little hideout somewhere in the islands.
And I know this wasn't horror, but did that remind you of Junji Ito?
I didn't even think of Junji Ito, but now that you mention it, maybe a little bit? With all the holes?
Yeah, but that's where my mind went first. I'm like, oh, so this is a shonen Junji Ito now.
Not quite. It's only one character. And in fact, he's the only one whose quirk we see, which is interesting. I'm curious what the other ones were, because the other two get taken out before they can do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Selkie's like, well, shit, we got to call in some backup. We can't handle this with just the boats and the water. So they call in, what's her name, Ryugaku?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, Ryuku.
I think it's Ryugaku, actually, with a G in there. But they call in the Dragon Girl that we got in season 4 that we saw, who is apparently taking on Uraraka and Froppy as part of, and Nijire as well, as part of their work studies. So they all get rolled out to go and deal with this problem. And Selkie's like, hey, look, they're probably not going to move till dark, so let's have a little fan service for everyone. And we get a bunch of young girls playing on the beach in their swimsuits. And Ryugaku and Selkie are just like, oh, well, I see what your plan was here, Selkie. And so they enjoy the peace here and realize, hey, this is what we're trying to protect. These kind of peaceful times. It's like, yep, you got to get yourself in the right mindset for this kind of thing. Which, fair enough. Just a little reminder of just like these the times that that you need to make sure you can keep peaceful, right? Not that you're constantly fighting evil and losing that part. We then get to the point where the villains are like, all right, time to roll out, gotta go in the dark. Now, here's something I had a bit of confusion over, right? They said they weren't going to, like, make calls or something like that at one point, because we do get a shot of them during the day, and they're just, like, trying to be careful. It's like, we got to assume the heroes are all on high alert and all this. And they said they weren't going to call because they're like, our calls will be, tracked or something. We can't trust that. Yet, when they're rolling out, the guy in the driver's seat or the cabin or whatever it is up at the helm of the boat is calling the smokescreen dude on their cells. And I'm just like, didn't they just say they're not trusting them, that their calls are being tracked?
Good point.
I'm like, I feel like you just kind of broke that, and there's no reason you couldn't just scream down to the dude. So that was something I was just looking at and just being like, that's a little weird. Huh. Also, we can continue with this point of being weird because there is a point later on that I'm going to point out. This is really strange that this was their plan. So Selkie and Froppy are going under the water. Selkie's using his echolocation to try and locate the boat. Uraraka's still on the main boat, Selkie's boat, along with I forget her name, her Quirk's big ear or whatever, and she can hear shit that's like a higher frequency than a human could normally hear.
Serious?
Yes, Sirius, that's her name, which is a weird name now that I'm thinking about it. I don't really know how Sirius plays into having like good hearing, because my brain goes to Sirius the dog star when I hear that name.
I always think of the defunct Sirius Radio.
Oh, I don't know.
Which I believe merged with XM is now Sirius XM.
I think you're right. That sounds correct. But yeah, they also have Nijire and Ryogaku searching from the sky, and they're flying about. They do run into the boat, which then triggers the smoke screen. And this is the part where I'm confused because they know for a fact that there are flying heroes before they activate the smoke screen. So my question is, no matter where the boat goes, the aerial heroes are gonna see where it leaves the smoke cloud.
Well, if they stay within the smoke
But
cloud,
it'll dissipate though.
You don't know how long since the trigger infused smoke may last. Like, they could use it to their advantage, and then once the heroes enter the range of the smoke field, they'll...
Yeah, but my point is, why would they ever enter the range of the smoke field when they can just wait them out?
Fair point, destroyed mine.
And we all know, like, assuming, of course, the trigger works the same way as the booster, it only lasts for so long. And then there are drawbacks and repercussions to using it. Like, again, it's easy enough to wait them out. Like, obviously, you don't know what they're doing in that smoke, but they can't escape, short of literally having a submarine.
Yeah, and then Selkie jumps on board.
Oh, yeah, and well, that's my point. And then Selkie's underwater already searching for it, so you're not going to lose him. And at that point, I assume they already knew Selkie was there. Then we get Selkie, like you said, jumping aboard the ship, Froppy being told to just wait there because Selkie's using his echolocation in order to locate everyone in the smoke and taking them out. And I assume he wants Froppy to stay there just because of the fact that, like, I know where you are right now, but if you move, I might mistake you for someone else. Selkie ends up getting up to the captain's quarters, knocks out the guy there before he can even use trigger, let alone any kind of quirk he's got. And then we get the big reveal that the cargo is not, in fact, the cargo. It is one of those floater planes, those buoy planes, which then flies off, to which, again, my point would be, you have flying heroes. Yes, in this case, in this one situation, the plane is faster, but which I kind of want to call bullshit on that. I don't feel like the plane would be faster, but fine. And I don't feel like they couldn't do something about it, even if that were the case.
Can Dragon Woman breathe fire?
That was my first thought, but then they kind of brought up the idea of, like, the chemicals going up in flames and causing issues.
Oh.
Like, kind of like once Uraraka gets in there, it's just like, but it'll crash into the ocean and cause an environmental problem. And I'm just like, well, that's also a good reason why you wouldn't want to burn it to the ground. Also, the chance of actually killing the original pilot.
Maybe you can call Captain Planet. This is probably a Captain Planet quirk.
I don't know, Captain Planet or Planetina?
There's a Planetina?
Oh, you didn't see the new, like, clips from the new Rick and Morty episode?
No?
Yeah, there's a Planetina. And Morty falls in love with her.
I need to watch Rick and Morty.
I need to finish the previous season and now this one. Apparently, it gets real fucked in that episode.
Huh.
Anyway, bouncing back from the tangent. What do we got here? We got, apparently Ryogaku isn't fast enough, which, again, calling bullshit on. Nijire isn't fast enough, again, calling bullshit on because it takes a while for planes to kind of, like, get up to their speed. Selkie's kind of like, fuck it, we're not going to make it. And then we get a shot of like Sirius and Uraraka with like a harpoon gun or something on the front of the ship, firing off with Uraraka hanging on to the harpoon and using its momentum to fling herself the plane. And then, this is the fun part, she also got a new suit at the start of this, I want to point out. Forgot about that. I like this suit much better than the previous one. She apparently must have taken some kind of inspiration from Deku's new Black Whip and incorporated like a grappling gun into her gauntlets. That is a clever idea for her.
So she can like zoom towards her target and eliminate gravity on them.
Well, more like it'll allow her to use her own momentum, actually, while she's got no gravity on herself.
Oh.
It would probably allow her to like pull herself in and then just zoom by with that kind of momentum. And since gravity's not affecting her, literally only the friction of her moving through the air is going to slow her down at all. Technically, she could probably almost get to infinite speeds if she really wanted to. Assuming her body would hold up, obviously, but, you know.
Her traveling at infinite speed. Oh my god, that's borderline scary.
I would say virtually infinite, only because by mathematics alone, I don't know what the friction of air is going to do to her as far as slowing her down. But hypothetically, yes, I would say that she could reach almost infinite speeds. I would say she could probably definitely break the sound barrier if she gets enough momentum going. But yeah, she fires off her grappling hook. For some reason, the grappling hook is fast enough to catch onto the plane. I don't know why that is.
Plot!
Plot, yes. Exactly. She gets herself on the plane, basically makes the pilot unaffected by gravity, and then does her whole jujitsu thing and slams him into the ground, knocking him out. Again, before we get any kind of quirk battle, which would have been really interesting considering they have to play around not damaging the cargo. But nah, we can't have that. Take him out quick. Try to get the plane under control. Can't get the plane under control. Nijire does something to try and like get the plane more stabilized, I guess, because the one engine is stalling and one engine isn't. It more stabilizes it, straightens it out, and then we get Uraraka using her quirk to make the entire plane weightless.
After a little battle with herself, like, I can't do it. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
yes, I
a little
can.
mental battle. Well, yeah, a little mental battle, and I think she was more wrestling with, like, can I handle something this big, or will I pass out in the middle of it? The whole idea of, like, pushing past your limits, I guess, was kicking in there. And then we get Ryugaku grabbing the plane and settling it back down into the water. And once Sirius gets in there, she's just like, the cargo's fine, Uraraka, not so much. She's like puking on the floor or something, it almost looks like.
That's what I took it as.
And then we have another beach party with more fan service.
And after the credits, a teaser for the movie.
With a guy who looks like he came from fucking what's the word? What's the thing? Disco Elysium.
Oh.
There is a specific character in Disco Elysium that this guy's design, from what little I saw of it, reminded me of. And for those that have played that game, they probably know exactly who I'm talking about. Mr. Networth himself.
And spoiler for the movie. Well, if anybody is following the drops for the movie, that guy's name is Flecht Turn.
I don't know if I like that name or not. Oh, also, here's the thing I had a question about before we get into the preview for the next episode. It says Nijire uses her life force to make those spirals of hers?
I was going to bring that up.
And I'm just like, doesn't that mean using her quirk is slowly killing her?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Like, I don't remember learning that the first time. Unless it just, like, went over my head or something. But yeah, that sounds like her quirk is killing her.
Huh.
Like, it seems like one thing, if it's not fired off as a laser or something, like if it's still somewhat connected to her, she can just pull it back in. Like the spirals or whatever that are letting her fly, that are just around her like legs.
Yeah?
But the one that she fired off as a beam to stabilize the plane, I'm just like, that might have just shaved off a year of her life or something to do that.
Hmm.
I'm just like, it's literally killing her. That's what I feel like is implied by that word, by that wording for the quirk.
Don't think about it so hard.
She's killing herself, man. It'd be one thing if she was bloodbending it, well, I shouldn't say bloodbending, but like the way that character pulled the water out of the flowers, right? Like using something else's life force to do that, like grass or something. Using her own seems a bit reckless.
Just glancing at her quirk, it seems that she can wear herself out, but it doesn't say anything about. Well, the thing on the My Hero Academia wiki says she has the ability to convert her vitality into energy.
Okay, so we're working with something more along the lines of stamina by that definition, rather than her actual like health life force. I feel like that's a vast difference.
Maybe it was just a bad translation.
It could be. It could be a bad translation. I also just realized that she doesn't actually have her own hero name. She's still going by Nijire.
Do you need a hero name?
I guess not. But it always seems like everyone has one.
I guess.
Yeah, Yeah, it definitely seems, because I'm looking at it now too. It definitely seems by the definition listed in the wiki that it's more her stamina, especially since like if you look at the part of like just uh uh the other part above that where it's like enhanced stamina and enhanced durability. It's like due to the drawback, she's built up an intense amount of stamina through training. That really tells me that it's definitely her stamina rather than her actual life force. So that it has to be a bad translation.
And it seems that next week we'll be going to Todoroki's family.
Dinner at the Todoroki household.
Yeah!
Dad's gonna cook.
Do you think Endeavor ever uses his fire abilities when he cooks?
He goes to one of the fish markets, is just like, I'll buy this one. Flicks a coin, torches it, starts munching on it on a stick. That would be neat. That would be a great way to use it. I don't know why you wouldn't if you could. Well, I lie. I could see why. And actually, this brings up an interesting idea of like, is it like cooking with a propane grill or a charcoal grill when he would flame something? Does it invest a smoky flavor? What kind of flavor does his flame add to food? What kind of flavor does Totoro? Actually, no, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say, what kind of flavor does Todoroki's ice give to ice cream? But that wouldn't make sense.
No, it would not. But I just hope we will have one scene of Endeavor cooking with his fire abilities next episode.
Oh my god. I just realized something. You give Todoroki one of those like those balls that you can make ice cream yourself in, and he's just sitting there rotating it while he's slowly freezing it into perfect temperature for like the ice crystals to be in it.
Oh.
Just fuck the hero thing. I'm gonna be a ice cream maker. I'll make my own ice cream. At the very least, it looked like he was serving. I should say Endeavor was serving them, because it seemed like we didn't get a face, but it looked like it was big hands of some big dude carrying plates of food at the very last scene. So yeah, I'm curious if Endeavor's gonna try cooking.
Well,
Hold on? Can you imagine Bakugo trying to cook with his explosions?
I can just imagine Bakugo trying to cook and failing on basic things and then blowing up the kitchen. Gordon Ramsay comes along, Bakugo, you have to fucking stop blowing everything up!
Oh my god.
Your explosive personality is not productive for a chef.
No. He's trying to make a souffle and he's got it almost perfect until somebody scares him and he causes an explosion.
And besides, Bakugo, this chicken is rotten!
Oh my fucking god. Just put Gordon Ramsay in there with him. Just the attitude.
I would love to see that. Bakugo and Gordon Ramsay.
The great fan art. That would be an amazing fan art scene of those two together. Just the situation. Welcome to Hell's Explosion Kitchen.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But anyway, I guess that does it for this episode.
Seems like it.
Come back next week for more.
Bye.